Here on the DrFlux channel, we print a lot of blasters. And because of this, over the years, we've accumulated a lot of spools. Spools that have just enough filament on them to not be useful. For a long time, we just piled these up in an attempt to basically feed these into prototype prints. And when the Bamboo Labs X1 carving came out, we actually just started using one of the AMS units to just deal with these partial spools, because it does have an auto feature that switches over to the next spool. Still, this can be cumbersome and a little bit frustrating. Now, ideally, we want to take all this filament and combine it into one spool so we can just throw it on the printer and then be able to print our prototype prints. Fortunately, in today's video, we have this that was sent in from Sunlu. This right here is a filament splicer or connector. It's a very small and affordable unit, and we're gonna check it out today. Now, Sunlu was kind enough to send this in addition with a couple spools of filament, so we're gonna check out their filament. First step, let's get it out of the package. As you can see, we have the unit, and it looks like it has a little power connector on the back, which we have right here. So this is USB power. I did not see one of these, so keep that in mind. This is one of my own. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in. And then we have these. These are the filament connectors. More on that later. For the first test, let's try some of this filament I've had laying around for quite a while. And grab a good piece off of there, and then I'm actually gonna make it into two pieces because we're gonna see if we can splice this together. So the first step is to turn it on. We are set to PLA right now. This is PLA, so we should be fine. And we have a temperature, right now it's 185. That's sufficient for PLA, so we should be good. So here we have the power, and then right here we have the temperature. If you select this, you can actually change the temperature by going up or down. We will keep it at 185 because that is good for PLA. As we can see right here, the temperature is increasing up until the 185 mark. Once it's all the way up to 185, it will be ready to melt the filament together. And it looks like we're about there. Gives a nice little beep to tell you it's ready. Let's take the two ends, feed it into here, just like that. Open up the unit, place it in the chamber, close. Gives a beep when it's done. Once it's nice and cool, you can remove the sleeve. As you can see, we have a nice, perfectly connected piece of filament. This is now ready to be spooled back up. So a couple things about the unit here. Number one, you want to fuse the same type of materials together. You know, if you're doing PLA, make sure to keep doing PLA. For example, if you're printing with PLA settings and you fuse ABS with PLA, you're going to get a nozzle clog. So make sure to use the same types of filament when fusing together. Now this unit right here does support up to 240 degrees Celsius. That's able to fuse quite a bit of different types of filament. After playing around with this for a little bit, the one thing I would recommend is when you do your cuts, sometimes if you use something like snips like this, you get a cut that is not necessarily flat. So keep in mind when you cut with the flush cutters, use the flat side because you can get a much flatter cut. Now if I use this side, you will actually get a little V shape, and fusing these two V shapes together, it doesn't make a great joint. So you try to want to do flush flat ends when fusing together. This unit is extremely easy to use and really cool, and I can't wait to start fusing all these filaments together and get some good prototype rolls built. I will be looking at a filament spooler, so if you have a good idea for filament spooling, let me know down in the comment section. Now there is one last thing you can do with this unit that's not necessarily for prototyping, but more for just a very cool visual effect, and that is to purposely take two different filaments and kind of fuse them together to get patterns. It's a lot of extra work to do so, but I can imagine the results are really cool. Well, that pretty much wraps up this video. I want to give a special thanks to Sunlu for sending this in. If you would like to pick one of these up, I will put a link in the description. As of right now, they have some sales going on, so take advantage of those. As always, I'm DrFlux. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe and happy filament fusing.